Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Bailey. Welcome, you're welcome. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I do my foundation routine, my full coverage foundation routine, my flawless foundation routine, however you want to call it. I'm going to be sharing with you what exactly I do, and today I'm going to be using drugstore products so you guys can save your coin and still get a flawless look with products from the drugstore. Yes, I know, we do have a monster here. He is my assistant today, so he's going to be helping me apply my foundation. Aren't you? He's definitely like a dinosaur, you know? Like, try and tell me my cat isn't a dinosaur. Try and tell me that he is. He is. You're a dinosaur. Oh, not on my lashes. Not on my lashes. Yeah. Before I do anything, I'm going to prime my skin. You can use whatever primer your little heart desires. Angel Veil by NYX is one of my all-time favorite primers. It just smooths your skin, makes your skin like buttery soft. It just really like preps your skin for foundation. I know a lot of people don't like primers, that's fine. I just love the like extra like skincare step because I find that if you prep your skin enough, your foundation is going to look beautiful. It's all what's underneath, trust me. You're probably thinking, Bailey, you're getting ready today, where are you going? And I'm gonna say nowhere because it's red zone. Try dating in red zone. Oh, it's not happening. When I am doing my foundation, I either like to use a sponge or a brush. You could use one from Sigma. This is a beauty blender. You can use whatever you like. I usually prefer to use a sponge because the more you work the foundation into your skin, the more natural it's going to look because it's warming up and being pushed into your skin. Therefore, it's not sitting on top and looking super cakey. So if you want your foundation to not look cakey, not look dry, not look disgusting, try and stick with a wet sponge that's going to push it into your skin, okay? Next tip from me to you is if you have any severe redness or acne or bumps or whatever you want to cover, do a layer of concealer before your foundation. Now, I'm not talking a ton. I'm just talking just enough to just cover it a little bit. So for me, my skin has been, I'm going to say this, I'm so happy with my skin lately. You guys saw me for the past couple years. It was definitely a journey with my skin. I might do a skincare routine just so you guys can see like what I've done to improve my skin and what has been going on. But for example, I have a little bit of a red dot here. I'm just going to do a tiny little bit of concealer, and I'm just using a super fair concealer only because this is going to be covered up with foundation too. So I'm going to pop this on and make sure it's covered. The reason I'm doing this before my foundation is because when I'm doing my foundation, this has time to dry and set. So this is going to be completely covered under my foundation. Therefore, it's going to be covered. I always suggest doing this step before, that way it's actually covered. Because if you do it after, sometimes when all the products are wet, they're going to slide around. This just ensures that like your under base is just like covered, okay? The concealer I'm using is the L'Oreal Infallible. This is the full wear, and I'm using it in the shade 320 Porcelain. This has been my go-to concealer. It's like definitely almost out, so you can see that I actually use this all the time and I love it. I like using it in this shade because it's a little bit lighter, and I do like to highlight even though I'm so fair. Like, this is like nearly white, like the wall behind me is white, and I'm not complaining. Typically, if you are going to be concealing just like any spots around your face, I would recommend using a slightly similar tone to your foundation. You don't want to put too light around, you know, your face because you're going to draw attention to that and highlight that instead of concealing it. But for me, I find it perfectly fine because my foundation is going to cover this anyway, so it's not going to draw attention to this specific area. But if I were to, you know, conceal anything on my forehead around here, I might do my first layer in something that's a little bit more closer to my skin tone and my foundation tone. But the reason I'm using a light one is because, hell, I don't care, it's going to be covered anyway, and that's the realist speaking in me. Okay, so we got concealer on our little spots. Next is time for foundation. I have been loving this Covergirl foundation. It's almost out. It's like halfway done because I am obsessed with this. Me in quarantine, and this thing is just a match made in quarantine heaven. This is the Covergirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk Nourishing Foundation. I'm using it in the shade 520 Fair, which I believe is the lightest one. It's vegan. It actually has a dewy finish, which I appreciate. I have dry ass skin, so this foundation makes my skin look like real skin and not like this like drab, dry, like You know, that's how I feel like my skin sounds sometimes. This foundation also claims that it blurs imperfections, even skin tone obviously, because it's foundation. It has sheer buildable coverage and instant and all-day hydration. Love this stuff. Love it, I love it, I love it. So I'm gonna just throw a ton on my hand there. You remember back in the day when people were like, I use 1 pump of foundation. Bitch, you did not use 1 pump of foundation. I'm telling you. Like, you did not. Typically, I like to start in the middle of my face and work my way out. I will always come all the way down my neck and whatnot, but I usually just start here just because it's right nice and close. And like I mentioned, the more you use the Beauty Blender on your skin and push it in, the more your foundation is going to look like your actual skin, okay? And I know it takes a lot of work and time, but that's the trick. If you don't want to look cakey, you have to, you know, take those 3 minutes in the morning and really push your foundation into your skin, okay? I like, as you can see, this foundation just looks so nice already. Like, Covergirl, you did it. And I love that Covergirl's cruelty free now. Yes, they have it for a couple years now. I live. And I do like to go like right up to my eye. I'm not putting a ton of product there because I am going to put concealer there, but just so everything flows together, it's nice to make sure it's all up there. For my forehead, I really have no issues up there. I just usually dab my foundation up there just so it's cohesive with the rest of my face, but I don't have much to cover, so I'm not putting a ton of foundation there. I think that's something that's super important. If you don't need the coverage, don't put the coverage. Just let it like kind of like, it's like a variant, you know, just slowly fades away up there into nothing. My foundation is completely blended and I have laid down a little bit of concealer, or I've started to. Now this is kind of like a trend right now. It's kind of honestly like the oldest trick in the book. It's just like concealing, but it's like fun and catchy. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So I take my lightest concealer and I'm just popping some right along my outer corner here, and this is actually going to lift the eye. See how that cuts across my eyeliner there. I'm going to blend it out as best as I can because it's been sitting here and it's been drying. So remember this guy over here, she's dry, remember? I'm gonna pop that there, and then adding a little bit of concealer right against your nose here is really going to shape your nose and brighten up your eye area here. I'm actually so glad that the trend of like doing this giant like V on your eye, it's over, and like I'm so thankful because that just makes your cheek look bigger, and I never understood why people like did that. I guess for like the shock of it all, I suppose. So another reason I love this concealer is because the doe foot applicator is so big, and it just feels like a plush little, I don't know, kitten paw or something. So I'm going to do the same thing just right along the outer corner of my eye here. Imagine you're just doing a line right underneath a wing. Like, it should be so easy, and I feel like this is kind of like a cheat for anyone who has trouble perfecting their wing on their outer bit here. Like, it's so easy, just like a little swipe, okay? Bring this down a tiny bit, and you don't want to leave it like completely blank underneath here. That's why I brought foundation up there. And all we're going to do is blend that out. I need to use my other hand. This left hand of mine it's honestly a dud. And I'm okay with it, I guess. It's been a year. I was kind of thinking of doing a whole video on like my whole like MS, CIS moment that I've had to live through for the past year. But I don't know if that's like TMI, I don't know, but I feel like it might be like educational and, you know, informational for anyone who also has the same issue and their hand completely goes numb, or their whole arm goes numb, you know. I have a cat fluff here. Okay, see how that like completely lifted my eyes with like me doing like next to nothing. What I could also do is add like a little bit on my chin. I don't really find a point in doing it down the center of my nose, only because I'm so fair that anything that I put on my nose, it just like this looks stupid. It just makes it look thicker, so I'm just gonna blend it out. Like, it's, you can only really do that if you're like a certain skin tone, like no shade, but I'd rather just put like a little highlight there and call it a day. We're friends here, right? Like, I don't have to like hide this packaging from you because it's disgusting, right? Like, I don't need to do that, right? We're all good, right? I love the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. I'm using the shade 05 Fair. I love this stuff more than life itself. I don't love to set my face with a ton of powder really anymore. Like I've kind of just like grown out of that. So I'm going to, oh my god, there's cat hair everywhere. How do I escape the cat hair? I'm gonna take just a tiny wee bit and pretty much just push that underneath my eyes just to completely set underneath there. I am 30 now, so the wrinkles are coming in at a steady, glacial pace, but a steady glacial pace. So I really want to make sure that my concealer underneath my eyes doesn't crease on me, and so I'm just going to like softly push. I'm not like pulling or stretching, but just rather like giving it like a firm push in. I'm going to take a tiny little bit more and just ever so slightly dab my forehead, specifically in areas where I know I'm going to be putting any powder product. So for example, I know I'm going to contour a bit, so I want to add a little bit just to the sides of my face, only because a powder on top of a wet cream ain't gonna be a good thing. It's not gonna be cute. I'd rather add a little bit more powder and set with like a dewy finish setting spray than have like a muddy, disgusting, gross contour. I don't typically use brushes for my powder, only because I find that I just don't want to risk like using like a bristle brush on my face. But sometimes I like to use this Urban Decay brush and just go right over, just doing like a nice patting motion. This brush is so soft and fluffy and gentle. I don't feel like it's going to streak my face at all. So I just like to do just a little roundabout here, just to secure it, you know? At this point, I'm going to do my blush, contour, highlight, and you're gonna see me in 1 minute. Are you ready? And just like that, the power of editing, I am a glamazon again, and my foundation routine is complete. What'd you think? Did you like it? I feel like it was simple enough. I feel like I covered all of my bases. What do we think? I love this foundation. I feel like I look flawless without it being like super heavy and cakey, and it's like my skin, like I feel like I could genuinely just like literally rub my face and my foundation isn't coming off, which I desperately appreciate. It is like still a little bit tacky to the touch because I haven't completely set it fully with like a huge like amount of powder. I didn't bake anywhere on my face. I find that that's a little bit too heavy for the average person, okay? Just keep in mind, whenever you're watching a makeup tutorial, we got all of the lights, okay? So everything is so much more than it needs to be on camera in order for it to come through all of these lights. So just keep in mind, everything I'm doing, maybe do like 80% or like 70%, okay? Just keep that in mind. That's like something I think that a lot of people have to like learn, maybe the hard way, hopefully not the hard way. Don't cake your foundation on, okay? Because us sitting behind the camera, when these lights come off, it's like this. It's not good. Anyway guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, maybe some new tips, tricks, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Oh my god, I was gonna tell you a little Tinder story. I have so many, it's like actually disgusting. Men are so gross. Oh my god. I'm literally like, I'm not even mad at my ex for like ghosting me. I'm mad that he's like making me like be on Tinder again. Like that's just the most like gut-wrenching part of it, is that like, oh my god, I have to deal with these men again. This sucks. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one.